Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
This segment is sponsored by Best Reviews.
Smart home devices, that is, can not only provide peace of mind, but in many cases also save you lots of money. Joining us now with the top tested smart home devices is Senior Director of Content Operations from BestReviews.com, Jacob Palmer. Hey, Jacob, how are you?
Hey, thanks for having me. You know, this is a space of technology that got really popular, let's say 5 or 6 years ago. And now it's mature enough that we've got 3 big players in the space, super big brand names, and I'm pretty excited to show people what were our favorites.
Okay, yeah, because I wouldn't know how to choose one brand from the next. So let's start over here, Jacob. What have we got first?
These are the Amazon Echo devices, and what's great about these is that they are very affordable, number one, and they also are super easy to use. Starting with the Echo Show 8, which is the black one here. My favorite part about this is that it swivels, and it also will follow the person. So if you're watching a show, if you are telling it to follow you while you're cooking something, so you run over here, you need to be able to see it, you run over there, you can still see it.
Wow.
And then my absolute favorite part about it is that it also does that during the video calls. And what's also great about it is with that auto follow, say that you're, maybe video calling grandma, the toddler running around, it will still stay in focus. But if you want to be going with the more cost-effective version, you can go with the Echo Show 5. What I think is the best selling point for the Echo Shows, which is if you're already invested in the Ring technology, a lot of people have them as doorbells or peepholes, and then you can also get a live view into it right away if you set it up with the right command.
Yeah, I mean, nobody wants to walk to their door and look through the hole because you don't know who's on the other side. So, all right, let's move on to this in the middle here. This is Google, correct?
This is the Google Nest variety. And so we've got a couple here. We got the Google Nest Hub and the Google Nest Mini. And what we love about these is that these are great in a bunch of different environments. The Mini is perfect for if you want to just put it in like more of a bedroom or something like that, because obviously you won't need the screen as much. The other thing that's great about this is that if you're a YouTube TV user, it is awesome in terms of how easy it is to say, hey, can you watch Fox on YouTube TV? Maybe a football game is on or something like that. So that's another great one. And then the speaker, this is about half the price and super affordable. We're talking like less than $50 a lot of the time. So another great option for folks if that's what they're looking for out there.
Very cool. All right, let's move on to the third one now. I love this design, Jacob. This like netting looks so cool. What's that one?
So these are from Apple, and so of course you're gonna love the design because that is what Apple does well, right? Is they have the aesthetics down pat. They have some great technology in them as well, especially the larger Apple HomePod here. This is going to compete more so with like a smart speaker. So if you're in the market for something like from Sonos or something like that, this is going to be that because this thing is so powerful. To the point that if you're living in a small space, go with the Mini because this is going to overpower the space before you know it. But if you want kind of that central speaker, that thing that's going to be, the one that you're really playing music from, and then, if you're an Apple Music user, it is great for that because as we know with Apple products, the more you're invested into their ecosystem, the more it works well together. So this is going to be a great one for that. But then this is cheaper. The Mini is cheaper. It's about half the price, but it gets the job done, especially if you're living in an apartment, you have a smaller room, you want to put it in a bedroom, something like that. And then if you are a Siri power user, these are also going to be for you.
There's something for everybody, depending on what's most important to you.
And if you're not sure about what you like, make sure you check out our YouTube channel because we are diving deep in all of these.
Okay, Jacob, thank you so much. This has been awesome for Home Tech. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me.
Of course. Best Reviews is owned by our parent company, that's Nexstar. For more on these products and many others, head to bestreviews.com or scan the QR code up on your screen right now. Just scan that and you can find all the best reviews.
This segment is sponsored by Best Reviews, which is owned by our parent company, Nexstar.
The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by the Center for Child Protection. April, y'all, is Child Abuse Awareness Month, and the Center for Child Protection is raising awareness about its campaign, Every Child Deserves to Feel Safe. Amanda Van Hooser is here to tell us more. Amanda, how does CCP support children and families that are affected by abuse?
We are a nonprofit that works with what we call the Child Protection Team, which is law enforcement in Travis County, as well as the Travis County District Attorney's Office, Child Protective Services, and Dell Children's Medical Center, to work in the investigation and prosecution of child abuse. And for us, that's typically aggravated sexual assault of a child or witnesses to violent crime like family violence or homicide. And our job is to start at that very beginning when a child needs to tell an adult what happened to them, or what they saw, what happened that brought them to us.
It's hard to kind of, have an open conversation about it because nobody really wants to acknowledge it.
And you're exactly right. That's why it's so important to talk about it all year long, but we focus on it in April because we don't have a chance to prevent this if we can, as a community, become better at talking about it and realizing that it does happen everywhere, that it can be people you know. In fact, what we know is that statistically 95% of the children who are victimized by people that they do know or people that their family knows.
Absolutely. You told me off camera, prevention just can't happen if education doesn't happen first.
Absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about that, what our community can do to help prevent child abuse and support kids who maybe have experienced it.
Well, the first thing anybody can do is donate, but what I really would like people to do is to become more aware about the issue. Come volunteer at the center. We have a process for doing that if someone's interested. Go to one of our events. Education is the key.
So your resources can be tailored to any age, and you want folks to start talking to their kids maybe as early as 3 or 4.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily about the biggest topics on the board, right? But there are some resources to kind of help guide them along as to what is age appropriate.
How to talk to your kids in general, but how to talk to your kids about sexual abuse are big topics for us, but the key is exactly what you said, starting early. And it doesn't have to be that you're having a sexual abuse conversation with a really young child. It starts with things like naming their body parts correctly. Mm-hmm. It starts with things like talking about the difference between a secret or a surprise. We talk about maybe birthday parties as being a secret, but let's call them a surprise instead of talking about a secret, because generally speaking, when it comes to abuse, secrets are bad.
Absolutely. Such valuable information today. Amanda, thank you.
Thank you.
Learn more about the mission of CCP at centerforchildprotection.org. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by the Center for Child Protection. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Ancira Salsa. Since the 1990s, 3 generations of the Ancira family have been selling their salsas in Taylor and areas around Williamson County, and it's time everybody else knew about their success. CMO Jesse Ancira III is here to tell us more. And Jesse, the first thing I want to ask about is about Ancira Salsa, a family-run business. Tell us a little bit about what it is you guys do.
Sure. I'm Jesse Ancira III, Chief Marketing Officer at Ancira Salsa. Ancira Salsa is our family-owned and operated salsa company out of Taylor, Texas. We are a specialty food supplier for grocery retailers, large-scale food distributors, and independent mom and pop shops, always keeping it local.
I like that you support local, being local yourself. Okay, let's talk about what you brought for us today, because you've got actually a lineup of salsas, starting with the least heat first.
Sure, I'll do a quick rundown. So this is the green, it's a tomatillo flavor, light and refreshing. This is the hot, a restaurant table style. Here is our smokiest, the 6-pack for 6 different peppers. Here we have the habanero, classic habanero pepper. Here is our new record heat, very spicy. And then this is my favorite, the pineapple habanero, our newest release.
You know what, I think you and I are going to get along palate-wise, because sweet and heat to me is a delicious combination.
Tropical fusion, I think you're going to love it.
I'm interested. Okay. I want to talk about how y'all got started, because as I said at the top, 3 generations. This goes all the way back to your grandparents.
Sure, my grandparents, Jesse and Josie Ancira Sr., developed these salsa recipes in the late 1990s. They would travel throughout Central Texas marketing and selling their salsas at farmers markets, local festivals, county fairs, and over time demand grew rapidly, and thankfully my father, Jesse Ancira Jr., had the foresight to commercialize the brand and build it into what Ancira Salsa has become now. So from the farmers market to now Central Market and beyond.
I think that's great. And just if someone's tuning in for the first time today and they hadn't heard of Ancira Salsa before now, what sort of salsa would you suggest?
Great question. I would recommend, if you're new to our brand, Start with the green sauce. It's a tomatillo pepper, light, refreshing, not too spicy, gentle on the palate, present, but still composed.
Ooh, you've really developed a palate for salsas over time. I should say so, by the 3rd generation. All right, Jesse, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Find Ancira Salsa locally at Central Market, or to shop online or find a retailer near you, visit ancirasalsa.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Ancira Salsa. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Top Leaders. Redbird is a memoir that takes readers on a journey that explores love, loss, and healing. Local author Deandra Ford Wing joins us now to share more about her debut novel. And first of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much, Rosie. I appreciate that.
Let's talk about how you became an author, because this is actually not your background.
No.
You've had an entire career doing something else.
Yes, I've spent the last 24 years as a salesperson in technology, but my mother passing and my aunt passing 14 months prior to her, I just had to take a step back and focus and try to figure out how to get through the grief.
And I want to ask about what you're hoping it does in just a moment, but if you wouldn't mind, talk to me a little bit about what folks will read about in the memoir. Will they learn about your aunt? Will
Yes.
they learn about your mom and the wonderful person that she was?
Yeah, they'll learn about all of it. And the not so fun parts of familial relationships. They'll understand the ins and outs of how it is to have a mom who, when you're a kid, you're not that close to, but as you develop, as you grow, your mom becomes somewhat of your best friend. And that's exactly what happened with me and my mom. It's telling to me that when you have family that was as close as my family and I were, that when the stuff hits the fan and everybody disperses, who's all there that's telling.
So what do you want readers to take away after reading Redbird?
I just want them to step away from it, just to reevaluate their sense of peace. I want them, yes, to step away with a sense of peace, yes, but also if they are someone who's struggling with losing someone, to assign a symbol, something that makes them feel that they're closer to the loved one that they lost. And that's where the Redbird comes in. The Redbird for my family was something that we could all point to when we knew that we needed to find a sign from our loved ones that had passed on. And you can't go looking for them. You have to just be in the moment, be in nature, and see this beautiful, beautiful being that is the Redbird.
Congratulations on
Thank you.
everything, and I can hope for continued healing for you.
Thank you.
And I know there's going to be a next novel coming
There
out.
is.
Yes, now that she's got a
Yes.
taste of it, she likes to write.
I
All
love to write.
Deandra, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for having me, Rosie. I appreciate you.
To shop Redbird online, visit booksbydeandra.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Top Leaders. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Kalahari Resorts and Conventions. Hey, are you ready for a culinary journey with unforgettable entertainment? Get ready for the 4th annual Food and Not Just Wine Festival that's happening at Kalahari Resorts and Conventions. We're speaking with Assistant General Manager Brandon Wise to learn a little bit more about the event. And Brandon, my very first question is, what's the inspiration behind the festival?
Well, welcome back. We're glad to have you here. The inspiration behind the festival is that Kalahari, believe it or not, it all started as a pizza restaurant. So the true foundings of this company, the family's love is in food and beverage. And as we've grown as a company, they want to show that off. We have 4 properties, building number 5 now, and culinary is still the root of all of it. And we want to show off what we do and where our passion is. So it's a tropical theme, and that's why we've got this food in front of us that we'll get to.
Talk to me a little bit more about what we have here today. You did mention the tropical theme. You and I both talked about how this is a pizza we'd like to take home. Could be divisive, but a Hawaiian pizza with a little bit of pizzazz.
Absolutely. It wouldn't be a tropical event without a Hawaiian pizza, so we have to have that, but it's Texas, so we made it spicy. Over here we have chicken parmesan sliders because we are in our Italian restaurant right now. And then over here we have sliders in heaven with Heinz 57. We've got 23 different restaurants and bars on property, and all of them will have at least 2 food options and 2 drinks on show. So from Double Cut, our steakhouse, Cinco Niños, the Tex-Mex, Sortino's Italian that we're in, all of them will be showing off. We'll have music in every corner, but we'll have interactive entertainment out there as well, from fire dancers, hula dancers. We're going to have some animals like parrots and alligators roaming around.
If someone wants to come out, there are a couple different levels of tickets, and I'd like you to talk to us about that.
Yeah, of course. There's general admission. The event is from noon, 12 o'clock, until 4 o'clock on May 4th. So it's 4 hours for general admission, and that gets admission to the whole place. VIP tickets for just a few dollars more. The event starts an hour early, so you have that first hour all to yourselves. Plus, from 10 to 11, there's a VIP brunch reception where we get to meet and greet the chefs. Cool. On top of that, if you were to book a hotel room and then get your tickets through there, it's $50 off each ticket type.
It's not just for the out-of-towners or out-of-staters. You want locals to come on by and experience, any night of the week, some of the wonderful food you have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. Kalahari has something for everyone. From 2 to 80, there's something for everyone, from dining to entertainment, live music, of course the water park, and we have slides and attractions there. Tomfooleries has things for the parents, for the grandparents, and for the kids all to enjoy. You can't forget the spa because there's so much happening. We need that moment of reprieve, and that's the place to do it, whether it's in the steam room or the sauna or getting a full treatment.
So it's a slightly different time period than last year, right?
It's a little different this year. Yeah, we've moved it earlier in the year. We think the weather is going to be a bit better, and it's going to be a lot more fun for everyone.
Can't wait. All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
To buy tickets and to see a full list of Kalahari's signature restaurants, check out kalahariresorts.com/Texas. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Kalahari Resorts and Conventions. Welcome back, everybody. An annual food-focused event is back for the 4th time, and it's better than ever. The Field Guide Festival is the last weekend of April, and founder Lindsay Sokol is joining us, along with Chef Sarah Hurd, co-founder of Foreign and Domestic, one of the local restaurants that will be featured there. We're so happy to have them both. Y'all, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having us.
Well, thank you for joining us. And Lindsay, you told me before we went on camera, you really see the Field Guide Festival as kind of a love letter to Central Texas. I think that's so sweet. Can you talk to us about what it is?
Yes, so Field Guide Festival, it really is. It's our way of bringing in Central Texas chefs with Central Texas farmers, and so that everyone who attends the festival is not only getting to meet amazing local chefs, but they're also eating amazing local seasonal produce, meats, meeting the farmers themselves, meeting the chefs themselves. So they're getting an idea and also the education of where their food comes from.
That is so cool that you can talk to the farmer who made the goat cheese that went into the, you know what I mean? It's just a really cool way to get in touch with kind of your food cycle. And is that really the inspiration here, is that you want people to be more educated on what they're consuming?
Educated, yes, and be able to understand and see how much we have here in Central Texas.
Yeah.
I think there's such amazing food outside of Texas, and we've seen that in so many other events, but this one really allows us to focus here on local, and we have the best. I mean, we may be biased, but it's such a great lineup that we have here in Central Texas.
I can't grow house plants, so the fact that anything can grow that we can eat as produce, I'm like really impressed, quite frankly. Let's talk about what makes this year different, because one day has now become 3, which is really cool.
Yes, and so we have 3 events this year. So we kick off on Friday, the 25th, with Lanta Larder, which is our 4-course dinner at Boggy Creek Farm.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be good.
It's gonna be amazing. Picture the long table in the middle of Boggy Creek Farm as we cook live fire through the night. And then on Saturday, we have our Field Guide Symposium. So that's when we really dive into panel conversations with local chefs, local farmers, educators here in Central Texas, and really try to bring those conversations to attendees. And then, of course, we end the weekend with Field Guide Festival.
Yeah.
And so coming back for year 4 and have 65 local chefs and farmers.
Amazing.
Yes.
You said when you first told farmers, they were kind of like, you want me there?
Yes.
But this year it continues to grow, and all ages welcome. Yes.
All ages.
Okay.
So there's something for everyone. I mean, in addition to the amazing food and chefs that we have baby goats from Nava Farm. We have baby chickens from Greener Pastures. We have wine pairings at the festival. So we have a little bit for everyone, and want it to be, again, a great representation of not only the chefs and farmers, but also what's happening in the Austin community.
That is so cool. Okay, Chef Sarah, talk to us a little bit about foreign and domestic and why you wanted to be part of the festival.
Well, we love working with Lindsay and Philip for starters. They're both great people and they take such good care of the chefs. But Foreign and Domestic was founded on farm to table. So for us, it's really in our roots to meet the farmers, and we've actually been really lucky to meet new farmers each year that we've done Field Guide Fest.
Which is wonderful, because then it can expand what you have to offer at Foreign and Domestic.
Yeah. And we're really excited this year. We're working with Ryan Gould of Geospin Regenerative Farm, and he's got chicken, and I love working with chicken, and we haven't had a lot of it on the menu, so I'm excited to move forward with that.
Especially because that's kind of traditionally a tricky industry as far as like the care of these animals, that sort of thing. So that's really interesting, because actually you brought a demo for us today, and it is chicken related. Now, we don't think you might go home and make chicken sausage. If you do, more power to you, but you guys have made chicken sausage.
Yes, my partner is pretty magical with making sausage. So he's made a merguez today.
What is a merguez?
Merguez is a chicken, it's traditionally beef and lamb, but we're using chicken. So we've done a little spin on it with harissa and lots of spices. And we're making kind of a hot dog this year with just shoestring potatoes. It's a traditional French street food. It's really comforting. It's fuel. So if you're out partying, it's a good one to have.
Or out walking. You've got more chefs to interact with. I think it's great, and I love that it's in these kind of bite-sized bits, so people can continue to go around. So this is what you're offering.
Food. Yes,
hand food. That makes it easy.
Good. We always see people struggling with the plates and their drinks, and
Especially, since you mentioned wine pairings, you might have a couple things in your hands. All right, Lindsay, talk to us about where the proceeds go, because the beneficiary from your sponsorship dollars is a very good one here in town.
Yes, so we are so lucky to work with Central Texas Food Bank since year one, and so you will see them at each of our events, and also bringing that education of Central Texas Food Bank and bringing the education then of Field Guide Festival, helping with the education of food here in Central Texas is such a big piece of why we've brought them in as our beneficiary, and why that's so important that we've worked with them every year.
Yeah, food insecurity is a lot more common than a lot of people think, and so I encourage everybody to check out Central Texas Food Bank, because the work that they do is absolutely amazing. In our last few seconds, you're turning 15.
We are. So we celebrate year 15 this year in May. So leading up to May, we're doing a 3-part chef series called The Chefs Who Shaped Us. So we're celebrating my partner and I and our sous chefs that have inspired us, that we've worked with in the past. We're doing collaborative dinners with them.
Cool.
And then we end it with a parking lot, neighborhood block party style pig roast. So we're super excited about that part.
That sounds like a ton of fun. Well, guys, a lot to sink our teeth into. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Thank you so much for having us.
We appreciate it. All right, get your tickets for the Field Guide Festival right now by going to fieldguidefest.com.
And I open up my arms wide and I'm not holding on. Free to be me, beautiful and strong. It's a beautiful life. It's a beautiful life. Oh, if you let it be.
Yeah, she sounds fantastic, doesn't she? So I'm so sorry, everybody. Erica was waiting on my cue, and I was stepping off to the side, but you performed beautifully, of course.
Thank you.
That is Erica Winterstrom. Her band is performing at this year's 38th annual. It's been a long time. Old Settlers Music Festival, which is, of course, a beloved tradition. And she and Mike Martin are joining us today to tell us more. Y'all, good morning.
Happy to be here.
Lovely to have you both. Mike, I'm going to start with you. Okay. Talk to us about this festival and what folks can expect this year. Always shifts, always changes a little bit, but it is a tried and true staple here.
It is. Old Settlers is, this is our 38th Old Settlers this year. And It's mostly Americana, roots, also bluegrass, a little indie, a little singer-songwriter, a little folk, a little bit of country, a little bit of gospel. So just a little bit of everything, and you can expect a little bit of all of that this year. We like to focus as much as we can on some local talent, but we also bring in plenty of award-winning musicians from around the world over the years and lots of different styles. So it should be a fun thing.
Should be very fun. And my understanding is that it's still the kind of festival where you can come out, pop a lawn chair, maybe experience someone brand new or see a name you know. There's still a little bit of exploration that can happen here, and it's much more laid back than other festivals, right?
That's very true. It's a very family-friendly festival, and this is my 18th year as a volunteer for the festival. I'm on the board of directors now, but I've been doing it for a long time. And every year, and I always say this every year, I find at least one band or one performer that I've never heard of in my life that I find myself obsessed with.
Aww.
So it's a great place to discover new music.
And I think that's wonderful. And I'm discovering Erica today because I'm going to go download lots of things once you and I get done talking. Talk to us about your band. People will be able to see the name of Erica's band at the bottom of the screen, but just for television purposes, we're going to call it the Heartless Bees. Can you tell us about how y'all formed and a bit about who else is in the band?
Oh, well, gosh, I mean, I formed it about 20 years ago, and
wow.
it's been through some lineup changes over the years. So, yeah, but I've got a great team, and yeah.
What kind of genres do you guys like to play? What sort of songwriting do you like to do? That sort of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of an amalgam. I mean, it's rock and roll. There's a lot of folk, Bob Dylan influence, soul, R&B, and I'm very inspired by Led Zeppelin.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, it's like anything from Aretha Franklin to Led Zeppelin. Somehow it makes sense. And Bob Dylan,
Sure. But I can hear, I would call it like the folk in your voice. I think it's really wonderful, very unique. And you're a singer-songwriter, is that correct?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So what we heard earlier was A Beautiful Life. And do you do all original music or do you do any covers?
We do some covers now and then, but primarily it's all original music. Yeah.
That is hard to do.
Yeah.
And usually when I get a creative in the studio, the first thing I like to ask is, where do you start with the songwriting process? Because I have heard very interesting things. I start with the words. I start with the beat. Or someone said, I start with the drums. And so I'm interested to hear where you begin when you start writing songs.
I get melodies. I always get the melody first.
Really?
The lyrics come later.
Uh-huh.
Once in a while I have quite a big picture, like I can picture the whole thing. Wow. And I get a few words and then the rest of it is me trying to like finish the words.
Sure.
But yeah, a lot of people do it opposite. They write the words first and then they get the melody. But I find I work best when I'm not trying. Like when I'm on autopilot, like if I go on a long drive out to West Texas or something, or
there's a song coming out of it.
Yeah, sometimes I'm like in the grocery aisle and then a melody comes to me. So it's very. I do better when I'm not trying.
That's so cool. Yeah. So you just let it kind of trickle into your brain. That's so neat.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that we mention, as you said, very family friendly. People can also camp out at Old Settlers.
Absolutely. It is a camping festival with RVs or tents or car camping if that's what you like. We have a campground that's with electricity. We also have primitive camping. You can sign up for, when you buy your tickets on the website, you can certainly buy camping tickets. We also sell single day tickets for the weekend, for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you can take advantage of those. A lot of local people from the Lockhart area and from the Austin area will come out and do that.
Just do the single day. And what day are you performing?
Saturday.
Yeah. Okay, you got to listen to her. Okay, get your tickets while they're still available, y'all. Head to oldsettlersmusicfest.org. See you there. Content segments during Studio 512 were paid for by Ancira Salsa, Top Leaders, and Kalahari Resorts and Conventions. Welcome back, everybody. Are you looking to support local and be more sustainable as we edge ever closer to Earth Day? Harper Sage has just opened at Parker and Scott, and Mallory Milan is joining us to tell us more, along with a friend of the show, Jess Hazley. We're happy to have them both. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Good morning. All right, Mallory, we're coming to you first. Harper Sage, we featured on the show before because I was obsessed with the jumpsuits. Talk to us a little bit about what it is y'all do.
Yeah, absolutely. So Harper Sage is a conscious fashion a brand, and we are creating clothing for multifaceted women. So soft whimsy, bold spirit, and something that we're really proud about is that we're working with a woman-owned factory in India. And so all of our pieces, the founder Megs goes overseas, personally is picking out the fabric, touching it, making sure it's the highest quality natural fibers, picking out all of the pieces like this wooden button, the little flower buttons on my dress, and ensuring that the products are perfect for our people back here in the U.S.
And paying good wages along the way.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think that the Harper/Sage is really cool because, to your point, it is kind of a duality.
Absolutely. You hit the nail right on the head. That's one of our words.
A couple of personalities going on. So could you explain that real quick?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where the soft whimsy and bold spirit come from. So Harper, typically as we're looking at our dresses, they're usually Harper, and this is our chestnut meadow dress. So this one is the soft whimsy side, but then as we look at our Sage pieces that are more bold spirited, they're more for, bold adventures. Those are the kind of different personality sides, because individuals are multifaceted. They are not just, one side every day, even multiple times a day. They may be like, yep, a dress works for me today, and then I want to wear this button down tomorrow.
I don't want to quote Shrek this early in the morning, but people are onions, right?
Yes, they are.
We've got a lot of layers. We've got a lot of complexity. Yes. But the jumpsuit y'all are known for, and so talk to me a little bit about your spring drop.
Yeah, absolutely. So something that we're really proud about is that to help with our ensuring of not overproducing our clothing is we do small batches. And so these are some of our pieces in our spring drop. We make a finite quantity, and the jumpsuit that you're holding is one of our tried and true, but it's in a new shade, and that color is pesto.
Well, yes. I think if I were assigning color names, that's exactly what I would call it.
Color.
I love it. Yes. I love this green color. I think it's gorgeous. Okay. And I want to ask Jess, Parker and Scott is all about sustainability. Yeah. Come fill up, your laundry detergent in refillable jugs and that sort of thing. Yes. You guys are kind of a general store of sorts. Centered around sustainability. So why was Harper Sage a good fit?
Great question. We were fans of each other before we actually opened the shop. We have very similar ethos. I like to say we have the same customer. They just haven't met yet. So it just made sense to do something together and show our community that we are focused on community, making a better community.
Making a better community. I like that. Okay, Mallory, we've seen a couple of pieces here, but we haven't seen everything because you have a kids line launching just in time for Mother's Day.
We do. So that's the Harper Sage Little Whims line for kids that will be coming out very soon. So if you like the dress that I'm wearing, if you like pieces like this one I grabbed earlier, you can expect little separate sets for kids. And if you love that pesto jumpsuit,
I was about to say, am I seeing the same little pattern here?
I know, exactly. We've got lots of pieces, but
how sweet.
Especially if you have one of our tried and true utility jumpsuits like you picked up earlier, you can expect a mini version for your little one.
Oh, how cute would those pictures be?
Yeah, okay. Mommy and me matching.
I love that. And Jess, actually, you're going to be doing something to help out. You're pairing the line that's coming out with curated items from the store.
Yeah, especially curated eco-friendly kids toys, so that way when mom is shopping, the little one can have something to keep them busy.
Well, and speaking of, Easter's not far, and of course the Easter Bunny does the majority of the work. But if anybody's looking to fill maybe an Easter basket, can they stop by and do a little shopping with you?
Absolutely. We have sweet treats, we have all of the lovely little toys to fill the Easter basket, anything you would need, and books as well.
And books, and that you made that transition for me really easy because you've got an upcoming book event.
We do. I'm very excited about this one. This is the second time we're hosting this author. Her name's Brianna Wiest, and she is promoting her recent book, The Life That's Waiting. So this will be hosted in our new space on this Thursday from 6 to 9. 6 to 9, and our friends at Burlap and Twine will be passing out mini bouquets as well. So it's going to be a giant love fest.
Oh, I like that. The Life That's Waiting. Can you talk to me? It sounds like it's maybe something I should read to improve my life.
Yes, absolutely. I think all of her books are really well written and focus on, it can meet you wherever you are in life. Specifically this one, it is stepping into the life that's waiting for you.
Oh, okay. I like the sound of that. All right. And so just with the little bit of time that we've got left, Jess, if somebody hasn't been to the store before, what can they expect when they walk through the doors?
Modern spin on a general store. We have a little bit of everything, anything you need from cleaning your house to cleaning your body to yummy, yummy snacks.
So many.
Yeah. And do you need to have, started a sustainable lifestyle before you walk in?
No. We can help you get there, and it's small steps to make a bigger impact. It's really not a huge undertaking that you have to do, and we're here to guide you along the way.
Yeah. The guidance is really important, and her husband Ian helps out a lot. All right, and Mallory, just with the last few seconds we have here too, if somebody hasn't shopped Harper Sage before, what would you tell them about just giving you all a look, seeing what you have to offer, especially now that you've got a physical presence?
Yeah, absolutely. So having the flagship space on Burnet along with the Outpost with Parker and Scott, it really feels like you're walking into, hey, I want to be a part of the Harper Sage, ethos lifestyle with Parker and Scott. And so I think the fact that we've got accessories, we've got all of the wonderful gifts and snacks with Parker and Scott, it's great because you can come in, you can try on the clothes. We do free shipping and free returns because we have been an e-commerce online brand since the beginning. But being able to come in, feel the incredible fabrics, feel how lightweight and breathable it is, perfect for the Texas summers that are coming.
I'm so glad you said it. I'm so glad you said it.
It obviously makes such a difference, and we also do complimentary tailoring. So we want to make sure that these pieces are for you and they fit you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
I never fit anything quite right, so I'm going to take y'all up on that. Thank you both so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.
All right, we appreciate it. Check out all upcoming events, y'all, products, and learn more by heading to parkerandscott.com.